She has built a personal brand as a published writer, model, and public speaker, Miss Nikita Clementina Dsouza.
Despite multiple pictures, nothing seemed to move. Marquee deals slipped away, and I began second guessing myself.
I would like to explore some of the defining milestones and leadership lessons.
One of the earliest lessons I learned that the transformation always begins with a mindset.
A leader, past or present, you deeply admire.
So, authenticity comes from measurement and accountability.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. Today's episode is particularly special as we explore not just governance or sustainability in isolation, but how vision, resilience, and transformation come together to define leadership in today's world. Our guest this evening brings a truly global perspective. With over 17 years of experience spanning India, the United Kingdom, and the EMEA region, she has led at the intersection of governance, sustainability, commercial real estate, and digital transformation. She is an IICA-registered and certified independent director, a certified ESG and BRSR expert, a certified digital director, and a professional who has successfully navigated leadership roles in leasing, strategy, facilities management, stakeholder engagement, and corporate governance. Alongside her corporate journey, she has also built a personal brand as a published writer, model, and public speaker, bringing both depth and representation into the boardroom. It's an absolute privilege to welcome Miss Nikita Clementina Dsouza to FaceTime with Leaders. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for the warm welcome, Tanay. It's a pleasure being here today. So, to give you an introduction about myself, over the past 17 years, I've had the opportunity to work across sales operations, corporate real estate, sustainability, and governance. So, one of the defining chapters of my career is at Embassy Golflinks, where I lead the leasing and operations. This experience really shaped me, my understanding of how business performance, sustainability, and community impact are deeply connected. So today I bring that perspective into my role as a certified independent director and a digital director, as well as an ESG and BRSR expert, where I would want to help organizations build strategies that are not just successful, but are also responsible and future ready.
Lovely, ma'am. Looking forward to today's session.
Sure.
Ma'am, your career has taken you across multiple industries and geographies, from sales and operations to leasing, governance, and now ESG and digital transformation. Could you please share us the story of that journey and the early experiences or some moments that helped shape your journey and led you to where you are today?
Sure, sure, Tanay. So, when I look back at my journey, what stands out is that nothing was wasted. Every role, even the unexpected ones, taught me something that I should carry with me today. I began my career in sales and operations, where I quickly realized that, success comes from listening, building trust, and staying resilient under pressure. My international roles gave me the gift of global exposure, learning how to work across geographies, cultures, and diverse teams. A defining chapter came at MC Golflinks, where I lead the commercial and retail leasing while also overseeing operations and sustainability for one of India's most successful and most premium business parks. And it is here where I truly see and I value strategy and execution, and I understand that they must work together. So these experiences really shape me as a leader who values adaptability, stakeholder management, and long term impact. So today, as an independent and digital director and an ESG expert, I carry forward these lessons, helping organizations see governance and sustainability as not just mere tick box exercises, but as powerful levers for value creation and future readiness.
Yeah, I think going ahead, these are some things that everyone needs to take care of in their
Yeah,
mind and set it as a core value.
yeah,
Ma'am, your professional journey is not just about holding positions, it is also about creating impact across industries, geographies, and business functions. I would like to explore some of the defining milestones and leadership lessons from this remarkable career. Like at Embassy Golflinks, you drove leasing strategy that resulted in the park becoming one of India's most successful and achieving 100% occupancy, and extraordinary feat in the real estate sector. Could you walk us through the challenges behind that success and the leadership philosophy that actually enabled it?
yes, definitely, Tanay. It's a very interesting question. You know, when I assumed the role of leasing at MC Golflinks, despite its position as one of Bangalore's most sought after business parks, it was imperative to maintain relevance by consistently, upgrading the amenities for occupiers. So, given the ongoing space constraints, I spearheaded the introduction of strategic value adding amenities that not only enhanced tenant experience but also supported higher rentalizations and in reinforcing EGL's position as a premium business park in Bangalore. But it was very far from a straight path because during COVID, the occupancy plateaued at 90%, and our retail areas were almost, I would say, empty because of the work from home situation that we had. And despite multiple pitches, nothing seemed to move. Marquee deal slipped away, and I began second guessing myself because there was so much of market downturn, and every negotiation felt like a hill. It was just so difficult to just walk uphill. And I remember thinking, are we ever going to cross this line? Are we ever going to make it? But soon after, I reworked the strategy. I started approaching strong brands, revamping our retail, and most importantly, creating what occupiers wanted. Because it's so important that in this profession, we listen to what people have to say. We may disagree initially, but it's important that we are all ears, and we understand people. We have an empathetic nature towards them, and that ecosystem, building that ecosystem for employees gave them a reason to come back and reconnect with their employees in the greens of EGL. So, what truly turned it around was shifting my lens from just simply closing deals to actually building trust, because leasing became less about selling square feet and more about creating long-term value. So over time, that trust became my personal brand, because whenever people knew that a deal was handled by me, the doors opened easily, conversations became easy, and consistency and credibility were already a part of the conversation. So, looking back, I realized that 100% occupancy was just the outcome. The real achievement was actually building an environment of trust, of relevance and value. And that's a lesson I carry forward in leadership, whether in leasing or governance or ESG. It's really never about the transaction. It's always about the relationships and the trust that you build that actually create and stand the test of time.
Yeah, I'm sure because a project gets over in a few years, months, whatever, but relationships last a lifetime.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Ma'am, you have worked extensively across India, the United Kingdom, and the EMEA region. Each geography has very distinct business cultures and governance expectations.
yeah.
What have been the most striking difference you have observed, and how did those experiences shape your leadership style based on the different geographies?
Yeah, so thanks, Tanay, for the question. So, working across India, the UK, and EMEA had given me the front view of how business cultures and governance expectations vary, but also how they can complement one another when applied strategically. So, in India, the energy is all about agility and entrepreneurial drive. Decisions move fast, and leaders need to be very resourceful. But in the UK, on the other hand, they place a premium on governance discipline, transparency, processes, which ensures accountability and it builds the stakeholders' trust. The EMEA region brings diversity and complexity. Leading there requires adaptability, a lot of cultural intelligence, and the ability to navigate through different regulatory landscapes with the same level of consistency. So the most striking difference has been an interplay between the agility and the structure, whereas India taught me the power of speed and innovation, but UK reinforced the value of governance, rigor, and EMEA sharpened my ability to lead inclusively across diverse cultures. So as a leader, I've woven these lessons into my own style. I push for commercial ambition, but I always anchor it with governance. I value speed, but not at the expense of sustainability. I value cultural sensitivity, knowing that trust is the real currency across geographies. So ultimately, I feel that these experiences have helped me evolve as a leader, um, who can scale responsibly, adapt strategically, and build businesses that are both high performing and future ready.
Yeah, lovely. Ma'am, your career has often placed you at the intersection of business development, revenue growth, and governance oversight. Many leaders see this as competing priorities. How do you personally reconcile commercial ambition with the discipline of governance and sustainability?
Yes, Tanay, that's really a very, very interesting and a very soul searching question, actually, that you have asked me. Because, see, at the first glance, revenue growth and governance feel like they're pulling in opposite directions. Growth pushes for scale and speed, while governance insists on discipline and restraint. So, over time, I've come to realize and I've come to understand that the real strength is aligning both revenue growth and governance together. And this shift in perspective has been really pivotal for me because I began to view governance and sustainability not as limitations, but as enablers for long-term value creation. Growth without governance is like building on sand. It may rise quickly, but it will not stand the test of time. And growth anchored in governance, on the other hand, stands firm and it earns lasting trust. So the evidence is all around us, as you can see, companies that have chased expansion at the expense of ethics have, eventually collapsed. And those who have grown organically, they have followed governance, they've followed strategy, they've built credibility with investors, with regulators and communities. Those companies have actually stood the test of time. So it's my instinct as a leader is to reconcile with the two. Commercial ambition drives innovation and momentum, but governance and sustainability ensures that the momentum is steady and it's stable and it's future ready. And we are not in conflict. They are partners basically in building very resilient businesses.
Yeah, through long term gain over short term success.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Ma'am, from assistant operations manager to assistant general manager at embassy, you oversaw not only facilities and compliance but also tenant satisfaction and sustainability initiatives.
Yeah.
Could you please tell us what lessons did you learn about leading transformation in functions that are traditionally viewed as support services but in reality hold the power to define business value?
Yeah. So then one of the earliest lessons I learned that, the transformation always begins with a mindset. If operations is treated as a background function, they will always remain invisible. But when you position the function as a strategic value creator, the function ensures tenants feel safe, secure, and you feel proud of where you work. So it is very central to business outcomes. Every decision, from how quickly you resolve service requests to how intentionally we design green spaces, directly influence the tenant retention and the leasing performance. So, of course, the journey wasn't without challenges. Budgets were often tight. Sustainability initiatives were sometimes viewed as optional rather than something that was essential. But the bigger leadership lesson for me was this, that operations are not just support functions, they're strategic differentiators. They may not always command the spotlight, but they build trust, they build reliability and experience that actually ensure sustainable growth. So leading transformation in this space actually requires the ability to champion both the details and the bigger picture, ensuring that execution, excellence, and long term vision move hand in hand.
Yeah, very well said, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am, now it's time for a very on rapid fire round. A few
Okay.
quick questions, and the only request I have from you is if I can get like one word or one sentence answers as fast as possible. So, are we ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
One book that has influenced your leadership style the most?
Leaders eat last by Simon Sinek.
Lovely. A habit you swear by to keep yourself focused?
I make sure I work every day. I do not compromise on that because that actually helps me to clear my mind.
Your favorite city to work in India and in abroad, differently?
For me, I'm always open to working anywhere because I feel like it is very important to work with the right people, to work with a mentor who would always uplift you. So it's sort of irrelevant to me where I would want to work. I'm open to working anywhere.
Great. One film or show you can watch endlessly?
For me, I like the movie The Pursuit of Happiness because that's a movie that I can, watch endlessly. It's a reminder of resilience, of perseverance, of staying committed to a vision and not giving up, even in the toughest challenges and in the most toughest of circumstances. So that always grounds me, and it creates that value of determination that I want to have in my life.
Yeah. A leader, past or present, you deeply admire?
I deeply admire Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam because beyond being a brilliant scientist, he was so humble and he envisioned, an India of empowering others. His ability to connect science, innovation, and nation building with such simplicity continues to inspire me to have my leadership to be purpose driven.
A quote you live by?
The best way to predict the future is to actually create.
Coffee or tea?
I prefer both. I can drink both.
Okay. Mountains or beaches?
Mountains.
One thing your friends often tease you about?
Then I keep taking a lot of selfies.
Great. So that was a rapid fire round. Perfect. You were absolutely rapid and we had a lot of fun. And now
Thank
we'll just
you.
get back to the last couple of questions, which
Yeah,
are more
sure.
serious, a little more serious. Ma'am, one of the most pressing challenges in ESG today is greenwashing, where organizations exaggerate their sustainability efforts or selectively disclose favorable outcomes to appear more responsible than what they truly are. This not only erodes investor trust but also undermines genuine progress. From your perspective, how can leaders and boards ensure that ESG and BRSR reporting goes beyond claims on paper and actually translate into measurable, authentic impact?
Yeah. Dana, you're absolutely right because greenwashing is one of the biggest risks we face because it not only erodes investor trust, but it also discourages organizations that are genuinely trying to make a difference. So for me, the solution lies in actually shifting ESG and BRSR from being treated as a disclosure exercise to being embedded as into one of the most important core strategy of an organization. So leaders and boards have to take ESG very seriously because it sets the tone by asking a very simple and a very powerful question. How does this initiative actually create real value for the business, for the people, and for the planet? Because if the answer is only cosmetic, it doesn't serve the purpose, it doesn't belong in the report. So authenticity comes from measurement and accountability. So when goals are science based, progress is independently verified, and the results are both successes and gaps, and they're transparently shared. ESG moves from from the claims that we make on paper to actual impact on ground. So more importantly for all leaders, it is important that they must inspire their organizations to see sustainability not just as a compliance check, but as a purpose. Because when investors, when employees, communities believe in the intent, that's when the reporting stops actually being a checklist and starts being a story of real transformation. So it's important that, when we do good, we have to do good consistently.
Yeah, very well put, ma'am. Ma'am,
Thank
you
you.
recently joined Directors Institute community. With your global exposure across governance, sustainability, and digital transformation, what inspired you to take this step, and in what ways has the Institute helped sharpen your perspective as a board ready leader?
Yeah. So actually, joining the Directors Institute was a very intentional step in my journey because having worked globally across governance, sustainability, leasing, sales, operations, I realized that true leadership actually goes beyond operational excellence. It's about shaping a purpose-driven organization that thrives responsibly. So the institute just not only gave me the knowledge, but also a powerful ecosystem of peers, mentors with whom you can who can challenge you, who can think bigger, and who can act with courage. So this actually shaped my perspective on how a board member can influence culture, sustainability, and innovation at scale. So, more than anything, it reaffirmed my belief that the role of a board member or a board leader is to leave a lasting impact, not just for companies, but also for society as a whole.
Yeah, very true. The bigger picture. Ma'am, that gets us to the end of today's podcast. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and insights with us today. What truly stood out in this conversation is how you have consistently demonstrated that governance, ESG, and digital transformation aren't just frameworks or compliance requirements, they are powerful enablers of so much more, and B, how the longer picture actually helps one to grow more than anything else. And from your early experiences across geographies to shaping leasing and operation strategies to now guiding organizations in ESG and boardroom governance, your story has reflected both adaptability and depth. And I'm sure everyone will have a lot of learnings from this today. So thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, Dana. It was really a pleasure because, we have to make a commitment that, as a leader, having worked globally across governance and sustainability, the challenges of today, they demand us to be very purposeful, very powerful, very forward-looking, and very resilient. And thanks to the institute, that really strengthened my resolve by equipping me with sharper insights and connecting me with an ecosystem that is consistently pushing boundaries and it has also reinforced my determination to step into a boardroom with clarity, courage, and determination.
Lovely. To our listeners, I hope today's episode has given you a fresh perspective on how governance and sustainability can move from being obligations to opportunities. Whether you're leading a team, aspiring to serve on a board, or building your career in the corporate world, the lessons Ms. D'Souza has shared remind us that true leadership requires both discipline and imagination. Until next time, this has been FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. Stay informed, stay inspired, stay future ready, and as always, have fun in your journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.